Personal question. What's the most you've ever cried to like a piece of fiction at all?
The most?
Yeah.
Probably the second half of Clannad After Story. Like the last like 6 episodes, I was like I was like episode 14, 15. I'm obviously not going to spoil it.
Yeah.
But around episode 14, 15 of Clannad After Story, like something happens.
Yeah.
And it's like you break down crying and you think to yourself, okay, it's all out of my system.
Yeah.
And then the next episode starts and it's just like, fuck, man. Why? And then it's just that.
Yeah.
For the rest of the episodes until it's over, and you're just a fucking mess.
I just cried everything. There's a lot of TV show stuff that isn't even said. I cry it.
Like what?
Don't know. Like just Deku would be fighting in My Hero Academia, and I'll start crying. Like, yeah, it depends on my mood, right? Some days I'm like a fucking rock, and it's like it could be like the worst thing on earth, and I'll be like.
It's really weird because I've found myself, and I think I think this is healthy because I've found myself more easily crying towards pieces of media and fictional pieces of media now than I did like 5 5 years ago. Yeah, and I think like the thing like the one that broke the camel's back was like Anohana. I'm like I
cried a lot Anohana.
Yeah,
I think before Anohana I don't think I had ever cried watching an anime. I'm trying to think.
For me, it was weird. It's like very early on when I was watching a lot of anime, like you know, because I think I first cried at Clannad, and then it was just like a chain reaction of like, and then I watched Anohana, and then I watched Air, and then I watched all these shows that made you cry. And then for a while, I had this blank period where
Probably because you exhausted yourself.
Maybe. Yeah. And then the one that broke the camel's back for me was Makia.
Angel
Beats made me cry a lot.
Yeah, Angel Beats made me cry, but like I didn't cry. Like there was so many like sad shows that people were like crying. Like I didn't cry at the end of Your Lie in April, even though a lot of people did.
I didn't either.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And I was like, am I weird for thinking that? Am I just like overexposed to this kind of media? And then I watched Makia on a fucking plane, tiny screen like this with shitty like
crying
headphones.
in 1p.
Yeah, and like crying to like 3 pixels, and I was like, and then the ending to that just like destroyed me, and I was like, why is it this one that made me cry after all this time?
It's weird because before, like, anytime I would just cry towards something, that thing would be like really, really fucking special to break down the brick wall that I am. But nowadays,
the stone of a man, the obelisk known as Gaunt's emotions.
Exactly. But nowadays, because I cry way more easily, I don't know, it's weird. Sometimes I have like empty cries where I cry and I'm just like, it's over, and then I feel nothing. It's just like, I don't know, it's weird.
I cry and I feel amazing.
Yeah, right.
I just do
it's
it.
like,
I'm
it's
like,
like a release.
Like I ordered McDonald's the other day, and I was like, "Why did I do this?" I cried. And
I fucking cried to Demon Slayer, and I'm just like, why did I cry?
I get it.
I get it.
Like
the moment I feel sad, I'm just like, I just get it over with, man. I just do it.
Yeah, have you ever had those cries though, where it doesn't feel like you've released? Where you just feel shittier.
You talk about edging with tears.
Not edging, but
it's
you
not
cry
and
then
edging. Climax with tears.
No. There's those times where you'd watch something really sad and then you just like let the emotions out, and then after your tears have subsided, you're just like, whew, all right, I'm glad that's out. I feel good. Like all my emotional baggage is out. And then there are some times where you would start crying, and then once the tears have subsided, you're just like, man, I'm now more sad than I was before I started crying.
That's like when I was like 15 with breakups, I'd cry and I feel worse.
Oh yeah.
Why did she leave me? Going back to funerals, I wouldn't like, even if I wasn't, because sometimes when you're like 10, you didn't really understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And then maybe when you get older, you're like 15, 16, and it's like, oh, it's this person that you barely ever met, but you have to know because you're all connected. I wouldn't know them, so I wasn't like sad, but I would just like cry because I'm like, why is everyone crying? This is so sad.
Oh,
bruh.
You cry because everyone around.
Yeah, because if everyone else is crying around me, I'm like, fuck. Well, I got to do it now. Like a psychopath, like Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, but like I said, like
this is human emotion. I must cry now.
Sad.exe.
No, like something about being around people who, like, when a room is filled with like sad energy, it just makes me get like that.
Yeah, it depends for me, right? Because it's like, say for example, like the Demon Slayer movie, everyone was crying like fucking crazy at the end of that, and I'm looking around like, oh, it's now. I have to cry now. I can't get the tears out right now.
No. Like to me, if I cannot cry to a piece of media if there's someone else in the room. Like there is a.
I can't show the manly tears.
Wait. Sydney as well.
Huh?
Sydney as well.
Especially Sydney.
What?
Do you know
Really?
why? Do you know why?
She'll be like, "Oh, baby man, you want a little?"
No. Because like 10 minutes before the tears even start forming in my eyes, she's bawling her eyes out already. Sydney.
You're on cleanup duty.
Yeah. Sydney is so emotionally receptive that like she will start crying 5 minutes before the sad moments happen, and she'll be like in tears.
Oh my god.
Because if I'm watching with Sydney, I am on emotional cleanup duty. I'm like, it's okay, baby, don't worry. Like I'm like, baby, like I didn't even get my point. Like I didn't even like.
Yeah, I guess you can't really be like, oh baby, are you okay? Hold on, give me a second.
You've heard about relationships where the guy comes too fast and then it ruins it. What about the one who cries too fast? I can't get my tears in. She's already decided it's over before I've even started.
Yeah, because like I remember because like Your Name, I cried like a fucking baby the first time I watched Your Name, and it wasn't even because it was sad. Your Name was, to me, the reason it's one of my favorite anime films is because to me it's like the perfect cinema experience where there are so many things happening on screen that there's like so many emotions that I just get so absorbed that my body doesn't know how to react other than just crying. Sometimes I get emotional and I don't know what to do with it, and I cry.
That's like an overwhelmed cry.
Yeah, it's like an overwhelmed
the music
cry.
normally does that for me.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
fucking
Right?
cry at like an E key. I don't know. It's always the music.
First note to Black Parade.
It is the music. Dude. The music will make me cry like, instantly, dude. Like My Hero Academia. I don't know why. I tear up whenever I fucking hear You Say Run with like Deku screaming. I'm like, why? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like I've been programmed to like a certain tune. I'm like,
It's like Pablo.
I literally like fucking dog.
And so I remember second time because the first time I went by myself.
Sorry, Mark Zuckerberg. By the way, watch this. I know you normally like these segments. I know you can't relate to this. Sorry.
So the first time I went by myself, and the second time I was like, Sydney, you got to see this film. It's fucking amazing film. But come see it with me. And I remember it was the moment just before Radwimps start playing, and that is the moment why I start crying. And I remember sitting in this film, and it was the second time I was getting as emotional. I was getting as into it. I was like getting absorbed. And I'm like, it's coming. Radwimps are about to play, and then like a minute before like they start playing, I just hear like next to me. I'm like, oh god, and it just took me out. I'm like, and it of course it's Sydney bawling her eyes out. But that's why as much as I love Sydney, if I'm watching a sad thing, if I want to have an emotional release, I cannot watch it with her in the room.
Shut the fuck up!
I'm like, Sydney, can you stop being emotional for 1 second?
Did you watch his new movie?
Is Weathering?
Oh, Weathering with You. Yeah, Weathering with You.
Yeah. Yes, I did watch that one.
Did you cry?
I did not cry at that.
Did you cry at who's the other director who's good?
Mamoru Hosoda.
Yeah, what's his Belle?
I thought Belle was okay. It was.
Did you say it was mid?
Okay,
I watched it, by the way.
I haven't seen it yet.
What did you think of it? Okay, did you watch it in cinemas?
No.
Okay, I feel like that's a movie you have to experience in cinemas because everyone I've talked to who has seen Belle, right? They've talked about how it's like a fucking incredible cinema experience with like the sound and the music and like there are definitely scenes in Belle where I'm like, I get that. It feels like, especially with like the musical scenes, the musical numbers, it feels like these scenes were made to be experienced in a theater with like the surround sound and everything. In terms of the plot and everything else, it was not his greatest movie, in my opinion.
Was it one of those movies though that it was like cry-bait?
Yeah.
So it was like because that's the thing.
I felt like it didn't earn it.
Right, but that's the thing is like it's like sometimes it's so weird with fiction that is like obvious cry-bait.
Yeah.
Where it's like sometimes it's like, yes, I will buy into the cry-bait very happily. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
and then there are other times where it's like, okay, you don't have to push this in my face this much. Like, I'll cry when I want to cry or if I can cry.
They have a digital world in the show and a movie, sorry. And I just wasn't invested in this world. I just didn't think it was like, I couldn't see it being a thing or why people would care. I get it because it was like, we're just going to make an online world where you can be anything except you can't and your avatar's chosen for you. And also there seems to be like a class system where some people are more important than others in this world. And
Why
it's
does,
like,
that, why does that just sound like Summer Wars?
and I was like, this is just
It
like
is exactly Star Wars.
oh, okay. Well, then there we go.
Yeah. I was like, oh, how do you know it's a whole sort of a horror movie?
He's made the same movie again
Yeah.
with Beauty and the Beast this time.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was Beauty and the Beast. That's
yeah,
what I was
yeah.
also like. What's this? And I wasn't. I was okay.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
it was okay. I agree with you.